And in preemies, their skull is not formed yet. At 25 weeks, one day, it's not fully formed. And as they squeeze through, because they're so sensitive, it can lead to brain bleeds. And think about this, a bleeding inside the brain equals long-term disabilities. Something they're gonna have to live with for the rest of their life. It could be a speech impediment, it could be blindness, it could be muscle movement, whatever. And there's categories of brain bleeds, category 1 through 4. And as Jude was born, they did a brain scan on him, and he had a category 2 bleed, and they said it's getting worse. So what did we do? We prayed, and we fasted. We believed God, you're gonna have to help us. The next time they did a brain scan, said it's a category 3. And I was at work on a Friday when I got the news because I had to work. I had to keep on doing what I was doing. And I'm at work and my wife calls me and she says, now it's a category 3. What can I do? What can we do? We prayed and we fasted some more. The next brain scan, listen to me, they said the bleeds are non-existent. They said there was never ever any evidence there was a brain bleed. Think about that. That doesn't just happen. We witnessed miracle after miracle, and most parents, you wouldn't think that this is a miracle, but the first time Jude had a dirty diaper, praise God. His digestive system was working and functioning very well. But mind you, they told us, listen, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Then they told us about his heart. They told us that he had a hole in his heart. And if it doesn't close, that they were gonna have to fly him to Stanford for heart surgery. Stanford is over 2 hours away from where we live. We couldn't get in the helicopter with him. We couldn't get into the transport vehicle with him. We would have to drive our happy selves all the way to Stanford to go see our son. We prayed, we fasted, and a couple of days later, you know what they tell us? That it's gone. See, Jude, yes, he eventually got tired breathing. So they put him on a ventilator. And this ventilator, yes, we think about ventilators and we think that it, gives you that breath, but it's more than just that. For a preemie, when your lungs aren't fully developed, they don't have a chemical that keeps their lungs from completely deflating. If they completely deflate, then when they want their next breath, it's hard to get the lungs to open. So this ventilator would give him the breath, but then when he would exhale, it would give him a little breath to keep his lungs from completely deflating. And one day, what he was doing was, some nurse decided not to strap him in, swaddle him. So he began to tug at his oxygen line, and he kept tugging, and then one day he succeeded in pulling it out. And you know what the nurse said? She said, we're gonna leave it out. And they left it out. You know what he's saying? I could breathe by myself, thank you. I'm doing just fine now, thank you. See, towards the end of my son's stay, he had to have 5 days without his vitals dropping so he can come home. He had to have 5 days with complete health, no heart rate drop, no oxygen drop. And if he failed, then the 5 days would restart again. He's supposed to come home on a Saturday. On Friday, he drops. Think about how excited we are to see my son, to bring him home. After 3 months, he's in the hospital and he drops. And the 5 days were reset. And think about this, if his vitals were dropping, how would he pass